I feel like I'm like Brendan Schaub now, I'm going to say, on this Monday morning, 10:59, in the Huzzy. What's happening?
It's not like we were slightly late today at all.
No, we were never late. Us be late, possible.
I was like racing and then everyone's doing their thing. So.
Bro, you've got bad luck on that highway though, eh?
Well, I saw your photo.
No.
Like dead stop, like at Marlborough.
Remember the last time
and I turned off and then it was like broken down truck. Light.
The last time when we were going to Jets and
that was one off ramp prior,
yeah,
dude.
and you were like, I'm gonna get off, and I'm like, cool, me too. And I like get off at Marlborough and I like fucking slog through the traffic, have to drive my fucking dad's car through like 4 meters of water, get 5 minutes late, still got to do fucking burpees to get on the mat. And I'm like looking for Warren. I'm like, where the fuck is this oak? He's like, he's still there. And then like class finishes, I'm like, oh, he meant he's getting off and he's going home.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, I thought we were getting off to carry on going.
No way.
I was like,
dude.
fuck, bro. I should have got off and gone home as well. Fucking hell. That was a good time though.
You have to fight the traffic and then go there and get
choked. Yeah. Made it, had to not only do burpees, but I still had to get fucked up for an hour and a half as well. Good time.
Well, did you see the trick Rich did on Thursday? He's like, okay, guys, we're doing rounds, but then everyone assumed they were 5-minute rounds.
Yeah.
Until you like land up and you're like, after 5 minutes, like, this feels a little bit longer than 5 minutes. Then you realize you're doing 4 10-minute rounds.
It was just Mr. Nesh Naidu who, I don't want to use the word of what he did to me, but he owes me a dinner and a present, some jewelry. He owes me some jewelry. And that's when I knew the rounds were long. I was like, I've literally been under this guy for a longest time possible.
If Nesh gets on top of it,
it's cool for me because it gives me perspective of what's happening when people are under me as well.
There's only like 1 or 2 people worse than having Nesh on top of you, and Chef's one of them.
Bro, that was my next role.
Is it?
Yeah,
Chef?
I went from Nesh to Chef. I was like, this is
20 minutes of
perfect strategy.
Torture,
perfect strategy.
Absolute torture for 20 minutes.
That's not recommended.
No worries.
Shane did one worse. He went Nesh, Chef, then me, then that judo dude, the judo black belt.
Dude, the judo black belt shocked me, dude. He's like, I want to stand with you. I was like, okay, this guy's a little bit amped up for a white belt. Next thing, I'm like,
flying, baba.
Yeah, my legs are higher than my head. I hit the mat. I'm like, oh shit. That's like definitely not like white belt.
What I do find with judo guys is like, if you get them into like a very, very tough side control, they do not like it at all.
He kept trying to scarf hold me, and I was like, doesn't really work.
Get dulled, my man. That's a technical term. And what's happening, man? How's the weekend?
Good, dude.
Just
trying to watch most of the nationals.
Yeah,
like streaming it, like intermittently.
As you go. That's what happens when you're not allowed to be at the event. You just like you like only care a little bit.
Yeah. But it was a lot of action this weekend. We had old DJ versus Mirage, and then like the next day was nationals.
When was that? I feel like that was like a week ago already, bro.
Was it a week ago?
No, it was like Friday.
It was Thursday, yeah.
No, it was Thursday. Thursday night.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was early hours Friday morning, I think, yeah. It was like, the main card started like 2 a.m. or something, I think, was it?
I think it was Friday. I think it aired on Friday, and I watched it on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Well, it was
on
recent,
Thursday.
yeah.
During the day.
Strange one, eh?
Yeah, very peculiar.
Strange one.
And then Alvarez.
How funny is it, though, like, to see those things from DJ, and he's like, knees to the ground should be allowed. Or knees on the ground. I'm like, okay, cool. Here's a knee to the face.
Yeah.
While you're grounded.
But he still maintains it.
I think he's right, though, bro, to be honest. Like, honestly, I think, like, that knockout, okay, it's crazy to see DJ get knocked out like that, but that makes sense to me.
The Mirage rocked him, that's why.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he was, like, so loose. Like, he was, like, framing up and then trying to, like, base. But, like, I mean, ideally he wouldn't normally do that, you know.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to get, like, come round.
Isn't it funny how, like, from the outside looking in at that kind of a fight, and you look at a guy like Mirage versus DJ, it's like almost like a foregone conclusion that it's just going to be another walkover for DJ.
100%.
That Mirage dude is a
he is.
beast.
He's been dominating in Asia, dude.
I was actually watching it was Will Harris who had like a little thing on him leading into the fight, and like just before he posted a thing about, you know, like, fans don't obsess over UFC. You know what I mean? There's like world class athletes in Bellator, PFL. Like, don't just obsess over the UFC. And it actually stuck with me. And I was like, you know what? He's right, because like I'll often watch whatever events are available. It's like for free. They don't have to pay. I'm just one of those guys. But if it's like Bellator's got like a cracking card and it's going to cost me $10, fuck, I'll do it. So, and I was like, cool, this is one of those kind of one cards that you really want to see what's going on. You know, you get sucked into the card and you start getting sucked into all the stories. But for a guy like that, like Mirage, to come out and destroy, who's one of the guys considered like the GOAT of the sport, it's huge, bro. Especially when you walk in there and like most fans have got this foregone conclusion that it's fucking going to be one-way traffic.
And it was an informed GOAT. It's not like when like Anderson slowly deteriorates. You know, he lost the decision. Sure. Okay, he got knocked out by Weidman, which was a super big shot. But then he started like losing all his decisions. Then he gets TKO'd by someone, and you're like, that's like, like Demetrius is still like right up there. Dude, yeah. So I mean, it was a shock. And then obviously that Alvarez stoppage.
Should we see if we can find that actually, Jared? If you just go on to actually one of the Instagrams, like maybe the last one, and just search for, sorry, Rock is still building toilets in the bush or whatever.
No, dude, that Oak's living his best life. Now he's in like some beach in Knysna.
Go to the Instagram
drilling hard.
It's not opening. Try another one.
Giving me a problem.
Might be the mouse pad maybe freaking out. Something's freaking out because I see a tab keeps popping up. Or just open up a new tab maybe. Yeah. Thanks, Rock. Just hit Instagram there. Just whatever you do, the golden rule is when you're working that computer is to not open our inbox, please. Just one. Start typing one. No. The actual word, like O-N-E. He's no Rock, I tell you that much. There we go, one championship.
I'm learning.
Let's go. I think it's that video there. It looks like, no. I'm sure they posted it.
Yeah, but it was a good
Keep
5
going.
days ago. And, you know, one are hard on the flipping social media. They're busy marketing that.
Just stop there. The one on the top left where there's the dude lying face down. Yeah, I think this is the DJ. Is it not? No. This is something. Oh.
Yes, he slept.
Horsies, bro.
Slept.
That oak is getting dorsed. Oh my.
Yes.
Oh my. Okay, cool. Let's try find the Eddie Alvarez controversy. I think that's it. Is that it there on the right?
Yeah.
It looks. Oh no.
Oh,
one
it's
down.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
The next. Yeah, that one. And give us some volume there, please, dude. Oh, are we getting a whole highlight reel? Thank you, one. Hit a full screen there, please. Didn't really change much, did it? Yes. I'm not gonna say, but Eddie's looking thick.
He's loving that post UFC career.
Post USADA, boy.
He's got to keep that head moving. Yuri Lapicus has incredible straight punches.
Yes, he's got a wide back, dude. Look at that thing.
He desperately wanted this one, eh?
Punches into the takedowns, because that's what Eddie does best, is mixing things.
I think it's like you come from the UFC with quite a big name and you lose a fight in somewhere like one, like a lot more pressure. So it comes from here. So he's got the Dagestani leg cuffs.
He's also a high-level wrestler as well. Look at the way he has those legs triangled.
From here, it looks like it's landing on the ear, don't you think? Hey?
Yeah. Okay, let's get like a little bit serious about it, right? So one allow knees to the grounded opponent, but you can't hit someone behind the back of the head.
Yeah.
And I understand that people say like, you know, it's very dangerous to get hit behind the back of the head. Try having someone flying knee in the face while you're lying on the ground, dude. Like.
Yeah. So look, okay, that one looks a bit illegal. Okay. But I think that oak's also playing it a little bit.
That oak took the Oscar away from old Aljo.
Aljo. He's definitely playing it. So I think like, okay, but one's also being cheeky here because they're only showing the one that lands there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool. You can close it. Thanks, dude. Yeah,
I
don't know, dude.
Let's get serious. Like, if you can elbow and knee someone to the head while they're grounded, why can't you hit to the back of the head? Like,
yeah, that makes zero sense.
Someone, I mean, do you remember Michael Venom Page versus Cyborg?
Yeah.
That flying knee that cracked his
Yeah.
skull.
Basically.
I mean, That's as dangerous as it gets, right?
Basically shattered his entire face.
Yeah.
His whole
He
face
retired him. He retired him, dude. Like,
my best was like, do you remember that whole?
now one little punch from about 15 centimeters, and now that's cause for disqualification.
Do you remember Cyborg after that fight? That Cyborg, not Chris Cyborg.
Her ex-husband.
Yeah, her ex-husband was like, you should be back in like 6 months. I'm like, bro, they have to rebuild your whole face.
Dude, you literally got a plate across the front of your skull.
Please don't ever fight
please
again.
don't ever step back in here, dude. Like, why would you even want to do that after that?
Dude, that made me want to stop training. Dude. Just looking at that picture, I was like, I don't know if this sport's for me, bro.
Dude, I remember when Anderson Silva broke his leg, and everyone was like, no more leg kicks. I'm not throwing another leg kick for the rest of my life.
I don't want to see that video. I thought about it. Let's go down and just see if we can see the DJ.
I think the DJ debacle will be higher.
My boy Rug there.
There it is.
On the right. Yes, Rug's doing the damn thing, eh?
Yeah, but they're also like feeding him absolute
of course.
cans.
Oh. Yeah, like that's legal.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to make something illegal, rather make that knee to the face and the back of the head shot.
Has one started their like quest into esports yet? I know that was like their next best thing.
No. I'm not aware of it.
I'm a big fan of their belt, I must be honest. I don't know why.
Well, it's
this
quite
dude is
traditional, right?
huge at flyweight, dude. Hey?
That belt's quite traditional. It's like, it reminds me of the old UFC belt. I miss that old UFC belt.
It's the same as like the Venom gear now, though. Like everyone's like, oh, this Venom gear sucks. I'm like, guys, you do know we were saying the exact same thing when Reebok happened. We're like, this sucks.
After seeing it this weekend,
it's not that bad.
It's not that bad at all.
They bound out of their corner. Clockwise once more the champion. Hook to a cross there, gut-munching knee from Dimitri.
And he also, ATT had a good weekend, actually, eh?
DJ's got a very good
ATT?
Yeah. He's from ATT, isn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought they always say that they fight out of Evolve.
No, I think he trains at ATT.
Heel hook submission right here. He
How's
traps the leg and Ashigarami. DJ needs to create that space. Needs to get exactly what he needs to do. Good job to fall into the guard, but what a start. Favor of Adriano Moraes. Once again, this bout.
I suppose this is the way you would have thought that this fight would have gone, like.
Yeah.
Take it to the ground and see if you can submit him.
One's very sneaky though. They're not putting in all. Like I know it's a highlight reel.
Yeah, well, we saw how sneaky they were with the Eddie Alvarez fight, dude. Like,
there we go. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Got dropped.
uppercut drops him, eh? And then he posts. Bang.
Then he like tries to like underhook and frame, and then he like posts and boom.
But doesn't that? That's what I say. Like, that changes everything. Like, basics there: underhook, frame, get up, throw a knee into the equation. So let's check it. Look, he's got the underhook, and he starts framing to get up. Bang. Eh? Yeah. That changes everything, dude.
Yeah.
That changes absolutely everything. Cool, thanks.
But you can see Mirage is a seasoned veteran at that rule set.
Yeah.
You know, like
he
didn't even think about it. He just went straight forward.
He saw it straight away.
Good card.
Maybe Piotr Yan should be swapping organizations.
There were only like 5 fights in that card, though.
Yeah, it was chilled. I just saw this morning, bro. Someone was like, there's only 8 fights on this EFC card. I'm like, that's the way to do it.
12 fights is way too much.
Like, yeah, we're so used to this long fight card, bro. But barring the UFC, no one else really does that.
Well, like in most states in America, you need to get a special license and permit to have more than 8 fights.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was only like the UFC set that standard that they wanted 12 fights every card.
But that's all got to do with like broadcasting and pay-per-views and that kind of thing. It's all about...
Well, they're filling up time
giving
slots.
you opportunities, yeah.
They're filling up time slots on different stations and then the pay-per-view timing.
Well,
good job.
One was good. Hopefully we're going to see BK in action there soon. I know the travel is making things really difficult for everybody.
Did you watch Bellator this weekend?
I watched
the Grand Prix.
like bits and pieces of it, man. I'm a big fan of Ryan Bader, so I like to
avenge
see
that
him.
loss, eh?
Yeah, dude. Ryan Bader's a beast. Also looking thick.
Ryan Bader definitely hit his prime post UFC.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks like a million fights now.
I can't, like, I was actually quite shocked when they cut him, to be honest. It was very much like Musasi, the same sort of cut. You're like, I don't know.
We probably find that they don't see like star value in the sense that he's not going to be the champion with the John Jones and the Daniel Cormiers standing around.
Sure.
He gets this like post UFC career where he hits his prime again, and you know, he's still fighting ex UFC guys, but he doesn't have to fight Cormier and Jones.
Yeah. But like sometimes I wonder if there's quite a bit of strategy behind that as well. To say like, look, we can actually have the whole sport benefit by making these kind of guys that are never gonna, like, they'll be top 5, top 10, but never really gonna progress. If we can feed them off to like a Bellator, they're gonna do really well, and it's also gonna be good for our brand because it's always gonna be ex UFC Ryan Bader. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I wonder if there's a little bit of strategy behind that.
Well, I think you know, like the previous era when it was Bjorn Rebney as the president, like there was a lot of like hostility between the UFC and Bellator. But I think now that Scott Coker's there, I think it's not as hostile anymore. You know, Scott was part of the UFC after the Strikeforce acquisition, and then
what's the key though? The key is that Bellator is never trying to be the UFC.
Exactly.
They're trying to be their own thing.
And that's why Strikeforce was also successful. They never tried to be the UFC.
Exactly. And what's quite the one time Scott Coker got a little bit ahead of himself trying to say that they have the best light heavyweight division. Like, listen, slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Well, you can't have the best light heavyweight division when number 1 and 2 aren't in your organization.
No, you slow down now, Scott. That was pretty cool.
Do you watch UFC this weekend?
I did.
Can we just both agree that Mike Perry needs to move along from the UFC?
Bro, he looked so bad, man. Like, I feel bad for Mike Perry because what you saw from Mike Perry was the wild man worked for him. That's who he is. That's his character.
Yeah.
And it carried over in his fight. You know what I mean? Like reckless abandon, come forward, kill or be killed. Doesn't really care. He's going to get paid. Now, Dad Mike Perry is trying to be more calculated. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for him. As always, in my opinion, he doesn't have the technical prowess to stand and be technical with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or he's got to be like in your face, or he's got to be grinding it out. He's got to put you on the cage and really make it fucking dirty, which he didn't do. He tried to when it was too late, but he doesn't have that technical click over to really stand and like be technical. He's got to be dirty. That's his style.
Yeah.
You know, and like you feel bad because he's obviously trying to change who he is. He's got that dad power now, and he's got a little bit, his motivation's different, but it's just not going to click. For me, I don't think it's going to click over in his fight style. Not in the UFC.
I think when he entered the UFC, he was closer to par than what he is now. You know, I think like the divisions moved past him.
Sure.
I think he's going to struggle with guys that aren't even like mid-tier guys in his division. Right? Whereas when he burst into the scene, you could string a couple of wins together against the mid-tier guys, and they would always fall short against the highly ranked guys. But I think he needs to either go to a PFL or a Bellator.
Just Google Mark Perry there for us, please, dude. So
make some money, you know, and then
for sure. I don't think PFL. I think he'd fit in.
$1 million payday, bro.
Yeah, there's good guys at PFL, dude. I think in that, just click on him it should open up or go down one. I think on his like Bellator, I think would be a decent fit because he's a character, you know.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of star power behind him. Just keep going down, boy. Yeah, just open up that Wikipedia. That'll be fine. Look, old D-Rod is. I think he's
slouch, dude.
Yeah, he's no slouch. Tough dude to deal with, bro.
He trains at the Yard Muay Thai there with Joe Schilling.
But yeah, I heard him saying like he spent a lot of time at the BMF ranch. Keep going downward to his record. You know, so look, and he's a long, difficult guy to deal with. His left hand was lethal.
How amazing was that statement from Schilling about being on mushrooms, throwing spinning kicks? Oh my goodness!
But look at this record now for Mike Perry. He's got to be on the chopping block, dude. Yeah. His last win was against Mickey Gall. So he's lost to Daniel Rodriguez. Tim Means
came in just to fight. Originally came in just to fight the WWE star.
Yeah, CM Punk.
Yeah.
Jeff Neal, Vicente Luque. So like you're
but
giving
he hasn't
him
been given bums though.
Yeah, you're
like
giving
Tim
him
Means,
like
Jeff Neal, Vicente Luque, Donald Sterling. He beat Felder. That was a shocker, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Max
So he's got
Ponzinibbio.
Yeah, no, dude. I think that's the last time we see Mike Perry in the UFC. To be honest.
Yeah.
Oh no, he said he's got one more fight on his contract actually, and he'll.
I don't know what his contract's like.
Where do you go from here now? Like, so you've gone from all of these. You beat Paul Felder on a split decision where you literally won on being the toughest fucking dude around.
Yeah.
You know, and then like every step from there you've lost, barring Mickey Gull, who's like a young dude.
Could you like when you think like Paul Felder and then you think Mike Perry, like they're not even in the same
No,
solar
in the
system
same category, yeah.
From an actual
They're on
technical
different
standpoint.
planets, yeah.
So it's just crazy that he got that win. Even Danny Roberts, I mean, Jake Ellenberger, like all of those guys, it was just that berserker mentality that he had when he
100%.
came in. That, like kind of like
100%. So like then they toss you a mid-tier dude who's good, but like on paper, like the UFC is kind of like, well, you know, this is one you can win, dude.
Yeah.
Like I mean, D-Rod, like I said, he's no slouch, but when you think about Mike
who
Perry,
did D-Rod fight previous to Perry?
he had a
split
he had a
decision
barn
loss.
burner, yeah.
He had a split decision loss to someone.
It was
like
also like
super close.
Yeah. I remember. It
was
was
a
not so
good
long ago.
fight.
Yeah, it
Good
was a really
fight.
good fight. But yeah, dude, like I don't know. I don't think there's much left for poor old Mike.
From his
Perry.
side, he just hopes like the UFC give him like a little bit of like a mulligan, little.
Or they cut him.
No, you give him something, get a win, so that he's got a bit of negotiation room for wherever he moves to.
The thing is as well, like, okay, obviously he's cleaned up now, but before, dude, like he wasn't making it easy for himself either, you know?
No, 100%.
Like all the antics going on outside, and you're like, yeah, shit, dude.
Look, we're
like,
only like a few months removed from him kicking the hole in the window.
yeah, and beating an old man in the bar.
Yeah.
Like, listen, dude, like you're losing. You know, this, you're gonna have to put a hold on this.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's not a great look for old Mike Perry at the moment, dude.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know what happens. But look, at least there's viable options.
Yeah.
At least there is PFL and there's Bellator. Look, I don't ever see one signing that dude. That ain't happening.
I don't think it'll be a good fit for him. I think he'll end up losing a lot of those fights.
And then you start looking at who recently got cut and then they went to fight in a small promotion and lost. The lightweight man, a tall redneck dude. What is his name? I want to say Tim Means, but it's not. James Vick.
Yeah.
So like James Vick was also like just on this negative turn, leaves the UFC, goes to like some small regional promotion, then loses and then retires. You know?
Yeah.
But at least there is that option, you know. At least there is somewhere to go. So yeah, interesting times.
Did you watch the Dern Nunes fight?
Yeah.
That was one-way traffic.
Bro, like it's so weird to see like Mackenzie Dern, she works at armbar and she worked it quite nicely. I actually watched it a few times to see how she set it up. I like to see, and it's going to be a strange reference, like I watched Peyton's fight quite closely to see how she converts that jiu-jitsu into MMA, because it's not
that direct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not you don't just become like a black belt in jiu-jitsu and be like, cool, I'm just going to submit everybody in MMA. Like you're using strikes, you're using positional setups, and there's a system to it, you know? And I watch Mackenzie, the way she does it is super methodical, and she's like, the way she set that armbar up, actually, it's like 15 steps. And it's quite funny to see how, like, in her head, she's decided on that armbar long before it happens, and she's going to step by step get to that point.
Yeah.
And if you're someone like Nina Nunes now officially, like how you know that's happening, but there's absolutely fuck all you can do to stop it. To the point where she seated and got like the arm.
Well, she didn't even get full extension. She was already tapping. She knew that she was never going to get out of that.
It was gone.
But what was surprising is that her like little bit of dirty boxing that she was using to like enter into those takedowns against the cage was pretty decent. She actually rocked Nunes at one stage. But just coming back to the Peyton thing, like it's a great example. Like Peyton's fight, she obviously outclassed Mishka on the ground, right? She still obviously has a lot to learn with striking. I'm sure she knows that already. But for her first fight ever in MMA to win the national championship, that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
But you could see that she hadn't done a lot of like MMA jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like she didn't understand the dynamics of being like up against the cage and trying to grapple someone.
Yeah, but she also had the know-how how to when and how to throw the strikes from like a ground and pound position, purely based on opening up submission opportunities. I was quite surprised that she didn't really find the submission quite quickly, you know. And listen, Mishka, and I think I was saying it to you guys on the group, is like she's no slouch in terms of that environment. She's experienced, she's a good fighter, she's tough as nails, you know. So it's not for that kind of fight as an amateur to be your first fight ever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Coming from this big BJJ background, I was impressed, man. I
agree with you.
But like you said, it's still like you can't just be great at jiu-jitsu and then just be this great MMA fighter. It doesn't work like that.
Completely. I'm pretty excited to see like if she sticks at Madford with the striking, gets the striking game down, learns how to convert her wrestling experience into MMA wrestling, learns how to convert a jiu-jitsu experience into MMA jiu-jitsu. I think, you know, she got a decent career and she's still super young.
Yeah, because like, you know, bro, like wrestling in open space and wrestling against the cage, dude, it's
a whole different art.
So I was actually like on Saturday open mat, one night I went with Timna. And like he had gloves on, so obviously naturally we had to have a wall wrestling session. I mean, fuck, if you're wearing gloves, that's what's going to happen.
He might be the most difficult oath to submit in history.
Tim.
Yeah.
Bro, that kid, I still don't know how the fuck he wasn't at the Nationals, but whatever, is so strong for his size. Like, it's surprisingly strong. It's overwhelming, bro. Because he's like, what does he fight at? Like featherweight? Maybe even below?
Might be even bantam. I think it is featherweight.
I mean, he must be like, let's say 70 odd kilos.
Yeah.
And like, okay, he's not taking me down against the wall, but I'm not getting off either. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that, and I'm like almost double his weight.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, just even if you're trying to like play like an aggressive submission game against him, it's like not easy, dude. Like his submission defense is really good.
It's hectic, dude.
But there was a lot of prospects that came out of the Nationals this weekend. I mean, you had your usual winners. You had like your Nathaniels and your Pieces and your Vuyos. Like they were all the regular guys that are winning. The two brothers that had to blixing each other for gold and silver.
And you see everyone's like, I don't, you know, they're just like touching each other. I'm like, they're
brothers.
They're brothers. Like, what do you guys want them to do? Should we give them swords and let them fight to the death here? What the fuck are we talking about? They're like people like in the comments, they're like, oh, why are they just touching each other? I'm like, they're brothers, dude. They
have to go home together. Like, I mean, like, what do you want them to do, dude?
Bro, that was some of the funniest shit I ever saw. I'm like, Jesus, do people not have a heart? like I understand this is entertainment, but these guys are trying to win shit and they live in the same house, dude.
On a side note, though, like if we both fighting for gold and my brother pops me one, like
it's on, bro. It's on. Throw one too hard and it's fucking on, dude. But you know, like
there's no running and telling mom.
Yeah. No, he hit me first, mom. Go and watch the replay. But you know what I'm saying? Like. I remember Tim and Ray in the last Nationals met in the final.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, we're going to get it to the ground and whatever
just
happens. Yeah. Just grapple, bro. Like just someone shoot a takedown and let's see what happens. Or start on your knees, bro. I don't know.
So tell me, for the SA team, does only the winner get selected or do you have multiple people in the division?
So from what I understand, just bear in mind that
led to correction.
But they're not going to tell me. I have to figure this shit out for myself. From what I understand, I don't know if it's the first time they're doing it, but it's a squad system. So they'll make a squad. So it's not, I mean, even if you didn't medal, I mean, guys are going to get injured.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen. Some people don't have, you know, to go to Worlds, you don't have passports, you need visas, you need money. There's a lot that goes in. So I think their plan is to build quite a big squad. So obviously the Nationals will, this is where it's going to get intriguing now. Because now it's April 12th. From what I understand, the African Open has been canned this year. So there's no African Open.
Well, the travel to South Africa is a problem.
Exactly. So now you're going to go from April to December, end of November is Worlds. Two problems with that. One, so much can change. Some guys might decide to turn pro. You know, they're just like, they can't wait anymore.
Yeah.
some people might drop off completely. Some people might completely improve. You know what I'm saying? Someone who came third might be a completely different fighter by December.
I mean, you look at that lady that lost to Cassandra in the finals.
Yeah.
I mean, she can definitely strike.
Yeah.
And
from
Western Province.
PFA.
Yeah, Mayman, I think.
Isha,
I think her name is Anisha Mayman or something like that.
Very good striker, dude.
Like, she showed a lot of promise. I mean, you give her another 6 months, she could maybe win that division, you know?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So just speaking to what you're saying is like to select a team now would be a bit crazy. It's like you should only be selecting a squad and then selecting a final team when it comes time to the. You have to get a visa by today. You have to have your...
Exactly. So I think in the perfect world, because I think the Africans were supposed to be like September, which you got October and most of November to really put everything together. So I'm hoping that you've got Versus, Alpha will be back in the mix. What's the one in Western Cape? PFC. Yeah. Maybe one or two other shows emerge. I know Versus want to go to Cape Town. Yeah. So they will use these sort of fights in these promotions to see what's happening. I'm sure, realistically, they will. But I think the smartest thing to do would be to host another kind of tournament.
Maybe like a South African Open. You know, you host South Africa just to get them accustomed to fighting multiple times in a weekend.
Sure.
Making weight
just to have a relook at who's
definitely
available, you know what I mean, and what's changed. I think it would be a dangerous thing to select a team for Worlds now. I don't think that's a smart play. Look, definitely you're going to start to build that squad for sure. You've learned a lot. I think even and this is the big thing about how important Alpha streaming that show was, is that everybody got to buy in a little bit. Yeah. The whole MMA community. I mean, obviously, like family and friends were watching, but the MMA community was watching. Yeah. So we've all sold into the story a little bit. The last Nationals, it wasn't. I mean, I was there and I tried to like relay as much as I could, but this time everyone got to see what's available. And it's going to do an immense amount for Worlds going forward, because now people, I remember watching this dude or this lady. Yeah. Like, think about someone like Cassandra and Peace and Nathaniel, who've been on that scene unknowingly for so long. They've been grinding at winning those medals, trying to get to Worlds and medal, you know what I mean? Francois Mayer is another good example. Now everyone's got to see them. Now you know who they are. Like, I can tell you, I can tell old Gerard, you know, Francois Mayer, he's our best chance at a medal. I think he did medal before. You'd be like, yeah, cool. But maybe at the end of the year, you're going to tune him to watch that Oak fight, because I told you. But if you've watched them compete in a tournament and then carry on going through like the regional system and then internationals, and that's going to sell the story a lot more. It's going to help with sponsors. People are going to buy in. They're going to be able to see and translate to the talent what this person did. You know, like if I told you about a top 10 and you went and watched and they performed, and you thinking about helping this kid, that's going to go a long way. You know, that's what I'm really, really, really excited about, man. And that was a massive thing. Something so simple as having a stream available changes everything. Changes absolutely everything.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I know there's no love lost between us and the current administration right now, right? But I'm sure there must be some plans in place to have this another tournament.
Yeah. Look, they're not. Just because we don't get on a personal level they're not idiots, you know what I mean? It doesn't make them bad people or idiots. There's obviously big things happening there. That being said, if I'm manager of a business and I'm shit at that business, but I'm very good at delegating who should be doing that stuff properly, like Alpha, look, slightly controversial, but there's a little bit grey to you as the governing body to use a local promotion to host your event, because basically Alpha ran that event. Let's be serious here. That was Alpha's Nationals. Yeah. When it comes to them putting on their shows, are we going to see the favor returned, or like what's going to happen? Do they get favored in the fixtures as opposed to other people? It becomes a bit grey, and then what becomes even more grey is that Alpha were quite clearly using that to grow their subscription base on YouTube and platforms. People don't realize that turns to money. Once you get to 1,000 subscribers, you're starting to monetize now. And when you're monetizing, like our views on YouTube especially for something that's over a whole weekend, you're starting to talk about serious money. So it becomes a bit grey. That being said, it benefits our athletes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It benefits our athletes. So I'm glad it happened, but it's just a little bit...
I think the best way to think of it rather is that Alpha MMA is a production company that runs MMA events as part of its offering, and that Masa hired Alpha in a production company.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. And I think it's the best, to be honest, to date, I think it's the best thing MMA SA has ever done.
Yeah.
Because there's no ways they would have pulled that off.
It was a very cool event. I enjoyed watching it. Dwayne sure needs to give Mike a little bit of...
dude.
No. You know, like, he kept shutting him down, like, hardcore. Like, Mike would say something and Dwayne would be like, no, it isn't. I'd be like, so cringy. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry.
So that was the... And I mean, like...
But it was a cool event.
The new me is trying to be not so critical of everything. But, dude, I had so many messages about the commentary. And this is where I have a problem. Like, the only thing I'm going to say about the commentary, like, before I say anything bad about the commentary, what I will say good is those guys obviously saw the feedback and they tried to adjust. So we have to give them that credit. The whole team, not just Mark, but Dwayne, they brought Boyd in, they brought Jess, Munimi in, and they heard it, they understood it, and they adjusted. And that's all you ask for. The problem I have is you've got a world of people that can do that job. And if imagine you're let's say one of the, maybe even Nathaniel, for example, or Peace or whatever, and you walk out for this national championship and Drickus is sitting cage-side commentating on your fight, or Don, or Boyd was there, or the list can go on. You know what I'm saying? Gareth McClellan, Soldier Boy, great example. You know what I mean? A, it's going to translate over onto the mic and to the viewers, and B, that's going to, a young fighter to walk out to see that is like to see someone like Drickus or Don or whoever, you know what I mean? And be like, this guy is the pinnacle of my sport, and now he's here watching me fight. That changes everything, man. It changes absolutely everything. And this is, it's not a knock on anybody, but this is a big problem in this sport, is that we're so far removed from putting the right person in that job. We always put the person like a friend or someone that's involved. The only way this sport is in here locally is ever going to take the next step is trying to find the right person for that job, or the right person in that seat. This is the same as the EFC. Like, I know Don's been speaking out, and I've said it for ages. We have so many capable people here of doing that job. No offense to Cyrus. Cyrus Fees is one of the best in the world, and I think that's come out. But we don't have to fly somebody here. We've got the people here. Why are we... And what that comes down to for me is I want to see people in this community getting empowered. Look at the UFC. How many of those guys are being pulled into broadcasting jobs or have created other jobs outside because they're being empowered by the UFC? You know what I mean?
I agree completely. I think it was a hearty effort from Dwayne and Mike, and well done to them for like getting. I mean, a weekend of commentating must be brutal.
Dude, I was also by Sunday I was like, yes, these
my brain was
so
tired after a couple of fights, dude. Like, you know, like it's difficult to do that, and like it was a decent effort, and they made adjustments along the way. Sure. And I think overall the Nationals was a pretty well-run event. Yeah.
And it ran on time, dude.
Yeah. It was, you know, like I think it was a good effort all around, and I just hope we get another one of those before the end of the year. Because, I mean, you know, it's like one thing fighting at Versus, fighting at AFL or wherever, but to fight multiple times in a weekend, make weight multiple times in a weekend. Sure. Like, those athletes need that before Worlds. And,
yeah, some good prospects. And a nice thing for us, obviously, with the Athletes Fund is we're obviously working out, like, the framework of how we want to vet someone to receive money to go to Worlds, because that's end goal. Yeah. And obviously, chance of winning a medal is right up there. Like, not to say that we're only going to try and help people that are guaranteed to win a medal. It's not like that.
But it makes sense to prioritize those people, right?
100%. So it was for us in wearing that hat. It was a great opportunity to see, and I think a lot of those fighters knew that as well. That, you know, there is an option for me to get to Worlds, even if I don't have the money. There is a chance now. Yeah. And those guys knew that we would be watching and be like, look, I also have to prove to these guys that there is a chance of me going to medal, because that's ultimately what we want.
But I mean, even if you just take a step back and you like look at someone, you know, like USA have the Olympic training facility, training center, and like there's loads of guys that are there, but they're only going to fund the guys that are going to have a realistic chance of medaling. So I mean, it's not like
you're going to send your best prospects, dude.
100%, and you're going to prioritize the funding for those people.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, good event. Well done, all involved. I was pretty happy.
That was good.
Happy to happen. Should we take a look at the UFC? Wrap it up. One over. Here we go, sir. I don't know what you've done to my laptop, bro. The last time I let you touch that thing.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, I just hit the UFC there. It's Whittaker Gastelum this weekend, I think. Let's see if
I don't even know. I only just got over Vittori versus.
Oh yeah, jeez. What do you do if you go up, boy?
Kevin Holland.
The Whittaker versus Gastelum. Just click on the name.
You don't say yes to any fighters that have a wrestling base whatsoever.
Bro, isn't this like the funniest thing though? Like two things. It's always like this guy's good until you realize that he has absolutely zero wrestling. That's one side. I think, for me personally, I think Kevin Holland's in the wrong weight division.
He's a bit small for that division.
It's not small. The strength, I think, is becoming a problem.
Yeah.
And I think he touched on it like he was a lot. I think Vittori was a lot stronger than what he realized. And you know, like I feel, you know, the UFC is mental, bro. They're crazy. Like you've got this young prospect who's really translating to the younger crowd. Like, cool, just he must win or he must fuck off.
Yeah,
that's how they are. And I thought when I saw that matchup and you knew it was coming, everyone was like, here comes Trailblazer. Yeah. You know what I mean? The second Till pulled out, you knew it was going to happen. I was just like, such a bad fight. You've just come off a fight, a bad loss to Derek Brunson. Everybody's fucking hating you, and now your reinvention is to fight Marvin Vittori on a couple of days' notice.
And this guy's got footage recently of how to absolutely destroy
you. They've given you the blueprint.
Yeah.
Just wrestle your face off, dude. You know? I don't know, dude.
You feel like Holland needs to take some time out and like upskill a little bit.
I'm not talking like 3 months. I'm like, take 8 months off. You know what I mean? Yeah. Go and figure out. Like he was talking about building up to the weight class. I don't know about that. Not with that frame. You understand what I'm saying? Like you can put on a bit of size to go up to a featherweight fight. If you really focused on it for like, let's say 12 months, you could really focus on that. Yeah. You cannot spend 3 months trying to go from, and I might be wrong, I feel like he's made lightweight in his career, then started to build on the size to get to a middleweight. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I would much rather prefer, you saw Impa Kasanganai go back down to welterweight. He feels and a good win. You know what I mean? Sometimes everyone's so obsessed with this, go up to your natural weight division. It's not always the case. Because you go up to 185, you got dudes that are coming down from like 220. Yeah. You know what I mean? These are big human beings, and you're kind of just like floating around. He went in like 183.
Jeez, like it.
You know what I'm saying? And that's on a few days' notice, which means he's been misbehaving nutrition-wise, and he's still not even nearly cutting any weight. For me personally, if I'm his team, I'm saying take the time off. We know what we need to work on now, and we definitely need to start considering that weight cut. Yeah. Because 185, 15 pounds, dude, it's not going to be a hard task. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree with
Some dudes do that in fight week. You know what I mean? So, dude, just an uncomfortable fight to watch. It's tough to watch a young prospect like that lose like that all the time, dude.
I also feel like he hasn't like accepted like that he's that shit at wrestling. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
he feels like it's just the mistake on the night.
He feels like, these guys are wrong for just trying to wrestle.
Yeah. I hate that, man. They're like, nobody wants to fight me. They're like, bro, it's part of fighting is fucking wrestling.
The problem is you got such a weak element of your game that Oaks are going to just try and go and exploit.
And you know what the UFC is going to do? No matter what you do, you go back down to welterweight, cool, we're going to find the wrestler. We're going to see what you've done. Yeah. That's how it is, bro. You're going to have to sink or swim now, you know? This is not a bad card, actually. Rob Whittaker.
Probably better than the card we just had.
Yeah. Oh, also, did you watch Arnold Allen? Yeah. Boy's on a tear. He's 8-0 now.
What I don't understand in that fight, he rocked. old Sadiq Yusuf, right?
Yeah.
And then he clinched up with him. Like, he didn't like separate and get the KO.
Dude.
Like, I thought that KO was, he was like seconds away from KOing the guy, and then they clinched up for like a decent portion.
I think sometimes for guys like that, like you're on the streak, like you want to protect that so badly that you just you know the path to victory, you know the path of least resistance.
And I mean, he rocked him while slipping. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Rob Whittaker, Calvin Gastelum. That's a great fight. I just don't think, for me personally, I just don't think Calvin is the same fighter anymore. To be honest.
I think Whittaker takes that one.
Yeah. Stevens versus Drakkar, first team all violence. Tough one for Jeremy Stevens, dude.
Well, I think
upper weight class now.
Has he moved upper weight class?
Yeah, that's at lightweight. Yeah. Coming from featherweight.
Stevens had quite a tough run recently. You know, it's strange how you can like lose a close fight and that like
changes everything.
Just snowballs from there.
And he was like on the brink of
a title shot.
Yeah,
100%.
But like this is a good fight for him. You know what I mean? No weight cut. Guys going to stand and really they're going to go at it. You know, Andrei Arlovsky, Chase Sherman. Andrei Arlovsky still doing the damn thing.
Andrei must have a watertight contract with the UFC because you would think that eventually they'd just be like,
maybe he's like Bulgarian mafia, bro. He's just like cut me and you die.
Wait,
Chase
he's
Sherman's
from
nice fight.
Belarus,
yeah, Belarus, yeah. Abdul Razak Al Hassan. I'm hoping to get a few minutes with him this week. Hopefully that transpires.
Is he African born?
Ghanaian, yeah. He's originally Ghanaian. Luis Pena.
So he was born in Ghana?
I think so. Luis Pena, Alexander Munoz. Not a bad fight. Ricardo Ramos. Bill Algio. Let's check the prelims. Just go up a bit there, please. Not a bad
Whatever
card.
happened to
Mokako
or Mokano? What happened to that guy?
The Angolan.
No, Mokano, the guy that was meant to fight.
Renato Mokano.
Yeah. He was like also one fight away from a title shot, and then
he lost, bro.
I know he lost a couple. I think actually.
Same as like Ponzinibbio, bro. Ponzinibbio was on a tear, dude.
Yeah.
Got that injury, had all that shit happen to him, comes back and gets smoked, and you're like, well,
that's it.
That's how it goes.
Back of the line again.
Old Tracy Cortez, easy on the eyes. Juan Espino, this big Spanish bastard.
Dude, that guy, this dude, he knows how to win, hey?
Yeah.
Even when he was in the Ultimate Fighter, you're like, this oak
bro
isn't great.
Yeah, like this is the biggest Hugo Boss model I've ever seen.
but
he's amazing, bro. Isn't he also like 49, bro? I'm sure he's old.
He is old, and
my man.
And when you watch him training and you watch him like in the build-ups, you're like, I don't know how this guy's so successful.
Yeah, he's just too slow. Bro, you know what I wanted to say? Like about Mackenzie Dern. That whole division is quite funny because everyone's like, oh, Mackenzie Dern's underrated. And I'm like, when Tatiana Suarez comes back, you guys can forget about all of this shit, dude. Because she's just going to beat everybody. Like if she ever comes back. Yeah.
But she got that neck injury.
Yeah, that neck is fraught, bro.
Imagine you've got all the skills to be the world champion, but you just can't get there because of an injury, dude.
I'm sure there's someone that can just inject something in there. Just
dude, if I'm the UFC, I'd send her just straight to the Mayo Clinic.
Yeah, just get her a new neck. Yeah. She needs a new neck. Hope by before the end of this year, please. Thank you.
So this is interesting. Jessica Pena back, obviously, from a reduced 4-year suspension. They gave her 20 months in the end. But this just shows you, like, people that have the money to fight it
can get it done.
Can get it done, right? Because she didn't have the money originally, which is what led to the 4-year suspension. And now they're saying that they might have been in the wrong with like how they approached it. But I mean, now you've already taken 2 years from her in her prime because she was only one fight removed from a world title fight. So I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how you deal with that mentally, like chip on your shoulder, or you just kind of deal with it. And my boy Gerald, he's back in action, eh?
After getting smoked by old Khamzat.
Bardos Fabinski, it's no joke. I wonder when Khamzat's coming back. They said June, July, I think.
If you can kick that.
Ooh, bro, the big news. Donny Madge has got his Guram fight back on.
Yep.
17 July.
Yep. It's on like Donkey Kong.
Drickus also saying he's got fight news coming, which is exciting.
Yeah, that's also the same.
So yeah, dude. Good times ahead. Also, UFC, please don't please don't give us a fight-friendly fight time and give us an average card. Bastards. Someone was like, the card was so shit. I'm like, dude, that's like, they can't just be pay-per-views all the time. Like, that's 100%. The way it goes. Like, we are the minority market.
You got the win that it was on SA time.
Yeah. And I was like, listen, bro, like, you don't have to pay to watch that card. You got your subscription with DSTV. You get all of this cool stuff. In the States, you have to pay $70, my man. Like, you want to pay $70 every time? No, you don't. So shut up. Just be happy that
$70. Ish.
Bro, so someone was working out, it's like, to be all the pay-per-views and the ESPN subscription is like I want to say $1,200 a year.
To be a UFC fan.
Jeez, and you paying what? You paying nothing, my man. So just keep quiet. Wake up at 4 a.m.
and you get all the boxing pay-per-views.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, we're very spoiled with Super Sport, but people don't realize that.
Oh, no one's talking about the biggest fights for the year coming up this weekend, eh?
What's that?
Askren Paul.
Is that this weekend?
I'm joking, guys. I definitely don't want to see that.
Did you hear Jorge Masvidal speaking about this to Ariel Helwani? And he's like, because like people are obviously quite bleak with him because he's been with Jake Paul and shit, and he's like, anybody that's gonna fight, they like hates Ben Askren, bro. Like it runs deep, I mean, there's a lot in the heart there, bro, when it comes to Ben Askren. Man. I'm like, how did this goofy guy who wears jeans and sandals offend you so badly? Like, he just said a couple of things, bro. Like, calm down, he's just fucking around.
I love that meme about like, if you beat Jake Paul, we'll strike the whole. It must be not lost from your record.
We'll forget about it. But then he was like, this guy is not a representation of MMA.
No,
I mean, like, well, he isn't, but this is. Bro, he's not there by accident. Yeah. He's there because they know he's a fucking pawpaw in the stand-up. Like, you have to understand that. You have to understand that. This is not MMA versus boxing.
So it's one of two
things. This is a YouTuber versus a guy who cannot box. That's what's happening here. That's what everybody needs to understand.
One of two things happens, right? Paul beats Askren.
Ben Askren is not my flag bearer for MMA. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care.
Paul beats Askren and they go, UFC fighters are bums.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Cool.
But Askren beats Paul, and then everyone's like, our worst striker could beat you. So, like, let's just hang back.
This is a win-win for Ben Askren, dude. He does not care. Bro, this hook has literally been a meme for 2 years. He does not care. You know what I'm saying? Like, to get that knockout and then go and box somebody, which is the biggest joke ever. He doesn't care. So it's a win-win for him. If he loses, he takes his money and he goes back to what he was doing, wearing his sandals and wrestling, bro. He doesn't give a fuck. If you, whatever this dude's name is, Jake Logan, I don't know which Paul it is, but if you get knocked out by Ben Askren, everything, your YouTube, whatever you do, it's over, my man. We are going to come so hard. We are never going to let you forget.
Have you heard him talk about that Jorge knockout, though?
Who, Ben?
Yeah. Do you know he only came round like properly? Like he only realized like when he was in the hospital talking to his wife, and he's like, "What happened?" And she's like, "No, you got KO'd." And he's like,
badly. And you are literally a meme on the internet as we speak.
Yeah. But that's like the thing. Like you see these guys get KO'd and they come around in the cage, but they're actually still out of it.
Yeah. They
don't know what's going on.
Someone spoke. I can't remember who was telling like a detailed thing of that, and they said like as well the same thing. Like they were just. They had no clue. They were in their heads. They were still getting ready for the fight.
Yeah.
They had no clue, bro.
Well, we were there at one Fight Stars event, and I was warming someone up, and then this kid went out and he fought JP's brother Martin, and like 9 seconds, doop, head kick. The kid comes back and he sits like while the paramedics trying to help him, whatever. He sits next to us, and he like turns to me. He's like, "Do you know when I'm fighting?" I'm like, "Yo." My man.
Anytime you like, buddy.
Dude, I don't think you're ever fighting ever again, bro. Dude, knockouts aren't nice. Jeez, like it.
That was one of those freak ones, though. I think he tried to shoot for a takedown or something and just ate something. Force on force. That's what happens. What are you going to do, bro?
Yeah.
Sweet. Game. Enjoy the fights, guys. Been an interesting week in combat sports. Another interesting one to come. Shout out to all the athletes. They performed at the Nationals and everybody involved. It was cool. Promising sign for what's to come. Sweet. Catch you later. Peace.